People, we've had some really big fights this year. I think it's fair to say some big fights. Spence Crawford, massive. Tank versus Garcia, massive. And I think we've got a really, really big one coming up September 30th. Basically, Undisputed versus Undisputed. Jermell Charlo jumping up 2 weight classes to take on the former pound-for-pound #1 Canelo Alvarez. G-Man is in the building. We're about to discuss this. The link to his channel, by the way, is in the description. Make sure you guys go over to his channel, hit that subscribe button. We are trying to get it to 15,000 subscribers. All right, let's talk about it. It came as a surprise to everyone, right? Remember, this was supposed to be Jermell Charlo.
Jamal was the name. We all expected it. And then it was the weekend of Joshua Franklin. They said Jermell. And it's like, in one sense, you're kind of like, this is great. But you're like, wait a minute, hang on a minute. What happened to Jamal? And 2 weight divisions?
Yeah.
But still, it's a great fight.
It's a great fight.
It is.
It's a great fight. Like, there's no, although it's 2 weight divisions, it's weight divisions only in just boxing terms, because I've seen both guys. I've been lucky enough to have interviewed Canelo. I've been around him. I've been around him when he's not in fight camp. And I'm telling you now, everyone, believe me, Jermell's bigger.
You really think that?
Jermell's bigger. I walked past Jermell and I could not believe there's a way this guy can make 154. Bear in mind, I tried to do my weight cut down to 175. He's bigger than me. His frame's bigger than me. His legs are bigger than me. He's just a bigger guy. He's just a naturally bigger guy. So I don't think there's much of a weight disparity in this fight. In fact, I think Jermell really should be 160. Canelo really should be 160. Canelo's undersized for 168. So Canelo really should be 160. I think Jermell should be 160 as well. Hence why he's twin brothers up there, right?
Exactly.
They are the same frame. I respect Canelo so much. Apart from that little asterisk with clenbuterol. Yes. I love the way he's like, who do you have for me to fight, DAZN? Bivol, anyone else? No, fuck it. I'm going over there because I want those fights. It's like he's running to the smoke, running to the fire. And I love the attitude of him.
I think with Canelo, he was looking at DAZN and thinking, who do you have for the next 3 fights?
Yeah.
You have Bivol, okay, fair enough. Who do you have after? And
no
after?
Munguia, Belanga,
okay.
No one.
PBC, who do you have? Charlo, Crawford, Spence. What? Yep, I'm having
it. Benavidez.
I mean, you have to admire him. He is literally, and Canelo is set for generations, but he's still chasing all that smoke. It's incredible, really.
Honestly, it's incredible. It really is. After his last performance against John Ryder, there have been some, including myself, that have said, you know what, maybe the great man is slipping a little bit. And you're going to slip, right? I mean, at that age, you're going to slip. He's had that many tough fights. He's been doing it since he was 14.
18 years.
Yeah.
We forget that. People say he's only 33. 18 years of pro is a long time.
That's incredible.
It's a long, long time. And
so he was sparring men when he was 15.
He was fighting men when he was 15. That is, it really, when you think about it, it's incredible.
Yeah, think about that for a second.
And he's been fighting at the highest level for over a decade. Yeah. So you are not talking about your standard, prospects coming up. They're in training camp. But how hard is it for a 6-rounder against a journeyman? How hard are you really training? He's been fighting at the top level since 2010 against Baldomir. Back then.
It's crazy.
Tough camp after tough camp after tough camp. Your body is bound to slow down. Your body is bound to have aches, pains. And he's getting more injured now. His knees are bothering him and stuff like that. Is it surprising? No, that he's slowing down a bit. Because some people would say, oh, he's only in his early 30s. There's a lot of miles there. Yeah. He spent his 20s as a world level fighter.
He's the same age as Errol Spence.
It's incredible, isn't it?
How crazy is that? He is 3 years younger than Terence Crawford.
It shows.
That's incredible.
It's funny you mentioned Spence. It really does show someone who lives the life versus someone who doesn't. How different. Because Spence against Crawford, the weight cut, but Spence is ballooned up in weight, drinks a lot of alcohol. Canelo, I mean, if you've seen him eating junk food, you better take a picture and frame it. I've never seen it.
Yeah. I know he does like a bit of drink, but it's literally once in a blue moon.
Yeah.
This guy is Mr. Professional. He really is. And sometimes I do wonder, we've seen other fighters go into that camp and have left that camp for whatever reason. I just feel like they can't keep up.
That's what I think.
I think they can't keep up. Andy Ruiz, Ryan Garcia, I feel like they can't keep up.
I think Canelo expects that. I think Canelo was like, look, I'm at this level and I do it. You're not. So you should want to. Why can't you do it? And I think Reynoso is a bit like that. It's like, well, Canelo is the gold standard and he performs to the gold standard every time. So why can't you? You aren't at that level. You just want to get there, but you're not putting the work in. And I think it's intimidating for those guys. They're like, oh, I thought it was going to be easy.
Yeah. No, this Charlo fight, it makes me sort of just marvel at his resume. Canelo, we'll speak about Charlo as well. He deserves some plaudits. But Canelo's resume, win or
incredible.
lose, is sensational.
It's incredible.
It's honestly one of Crawford's guys. I did a video about this. One of Crawford's guys were talking about Canelo's only beat one great in Golovkin. And look, we can discuss whether or not the people he's beaten have been greats, Hall of Famers. But regardless, the hit list, unbeaten fighters, world champions. It's just and I know the stress of a fight week and what they have to do as well. They don't want to do all this media crap. They want to be so even just to get through a Canelo fight week, and he's done that now for the last 10 years. It's incredible, man.
And he went to 168 and Undisputed beat the top champions in less than a year. In less than
Bashed
a year.
them all up. All the guys, and people might say they weren't great. Well, Callum Smith was ring recognized number one. He was Billy Joe Saunders, won the World Boxing Supers. Billy Joe Saunders, everyone was hyping him up. Unbeaten 2-8 world champion. Caleb Plant, IBF champion. Bashed them all up.
Yeah.
Bashed them all up.
And he won them. It wasn't like you could say, that fight was in the balance and Canelo was. He wasn't. He was winning them comfortably, all of them.
Yeah.
It was just crazy. It was a joy to watch.
Yeah.
It really was.
Back to it. I think you kind of swerved the question here. Is there slippage?
Yes.
Okay. Enough slippage?
No.
Okay.
No, and I think that here's the thing: Charlo may be struggling to do 154, but it's going to be interesting to see how he copes with the extra weight. You could say it's natural, yeah, and it probably is. Some of it may be muscle as well, but I do think that will slow him down.
Yeah,
that will, and it will fatigue him a little.
14 pounds a lot.
It's going to fatigue him.
Yeah, and his work rate's quite a lot in fights.
It is.
He does like to kind of put
he loads a lot.
He loads a lot.
He loads
punches,
a lot.
Yeah, and you know what it is though. He loads. I've noticed this, and I've sort of read this about him. He loads because he thinks he can knock you out. You ain't knocking out Canelo.
Man,
I'm sorry, you ain't knocking at that chin.
Golovkin,
But then again, everyone
Jacobs.
it can always crack once, right? I think we've seen that with Joe Joyce, but I'd be shocked. I have yet to see in the championship fights. 'Cause I remember he had a fight with Miguel Cotto's brother where he kind of wobbled a little bit. That was years ago. In the championship fights, I've not seen this motherfucker wobble.
No, and he's taking some big shots.
Enormous shots.
Tremendous chin.
Enormous shot. Like, it's incredible.
And the thing about Charlo, Jermell, he is able to set his shots up when the opponent is coming straight at him. He's a bit like, not in terms of style, but a Chris Eubank Jr. When you're coming at him and he doesn't have to look, he will light you up. But when he has to look for you, like against Tony Harrison, he's loading up, but he's missing.
Even the first Castano fight. The first Castano fight where Castano's coming in but in angles.
Yeah.
In the second fight, Castano came in straight lines and it was easy. But when in the first fight, Castano's bobbing, weaving, and it was awkward for him. But when Castano came in straight lines, it was like, I'm just going to light you up.
Exactly.
Canelo ain't coming in straight lines.
Nope.
No.
Best head movement in the game.
Yeah.
I mean, that guy, you can't even hit him with jabs.
It's incredible.
The Johnny Jacobs couldn't even land a jab on him.
Yeah.
It's like, what the hell? This guy.
But he sounds like you're giving Charlo a little chance here.
Well, I'm not picking him.
Okay, no.
I'm going with Canelo.
Yeah.
Charlo was a very good fighter.
Yeah.
He's a great fighter at 154. He's a good fighter in general. Like, you look at him, he's all around. He's a very good fighter.
Everyone says he's the better brother. He's better than Jermell for me.
Oh, Jamal's not done that in the last 2.5 years.
Yeah.
It's just crazy. I mean, that's another
That's
topic for another
that's
video.
another WBC situation.
Exactly. He is a very good fighter. I just think with Canelo, is Canelo at his best anymore? I would say he's probably not at his absolute peak, but not far removed. And even at their peaks, Canelo all day.
If his best was Golovkin 2-3.
2.
That's the fantastic performance. Golovkin 2, apologies. If that was his best, how far removed is he from that? Like, that's 100. What is he now?
I'm going to go and say 90 to 85.
Wow, it's quite high. I was going to say 70.
No, I
thought his performance against John Ryder was awful. It was awful.
I didn't think it was great, but at the end of the day, I kind of think to myself, did you fight to the level of the opponent?
Fair.
Sometimes you
Fair.
do, sometimes you see
Homecoming
that with fighters.
fight, it was, yeah.
You see that with fighters, they fight to the level of the opponent. Even against, you could say, well, he didn't fight like that against Yildirim, but Yildirim lost to Jack Cullen, for God's sakes. Like, really, Canelo could have, probably not trained an ounce and still knocked him out in 3 rounds. I think he just fought to the level. No disrespect to John Ryder, he's a good fighter. But I think he just was kind of like, all right, look, I'm settling, I'm at home, I've hurt him a couple of times. He's not going to win. I'm comfy. And I don't think he'll do that against Charlo. I think he's going to know, this guy's game. He's fast, he hits hard. I need to be on my game. And I need to make sure I make a statement.
All right, this is good. This kind of leads up to the final point here. I think we're all going Canelo. I think most people watching this are probably going Canelo as well. Rightly so. He's the undisputed at 168. And his only loss of recent times against Dimitri Bivol, who's just incredible.
Tremendous.
They're just frighteningly good. Again, that's the discussion about where he's been for the last sort of year or so. If Jermell were to beat him, does that push Jermell to number 1 pound for pound?
No, I would still have
So
it.
basically, so undisputed in 2 weight classes don't get you to pound for pound number 1 nowadays.
I don't think. I
Whoa!
think that Crawford's undisputed in 2 weight classes.
No, but
No, okay, yeah, fair enough.
yeah.
I understand.
At the end of that fight, he's gonna. At the end of the fight, there's gonna be a picture of Jermell wins with him with around 9 belts around his
8 or
waist.
9 belts, yeah.
With the Ring magazine belts as well.
I would still have Crawford and Inoue between those two, but I would definitely
So
move
Jermell
down.
doesn't even go to
move
number 2.
Usyk down,
Yeah.
and I'll have Charlo, depending on how Inoue does in his upcoming undisputed fight, because Inoue could be 3-time undisputed, 2-time undisputed champion as well in less than a year. Could break Canelo's record for time. I think those 2 guys are in a different level.
What's a harder win though, Spence or Canelo?
Canelo, definitely.
Yeah, because in order to get the W over Canelo, you've got to beat Canelo.
You have to,
You have to,
absolutely.
yeah. Like Bivol literally had to win every round,
He had to win every round, or you have to nail this guy to the
which
ground.
no one's doing.
No one's doing. And even if you did, I suspect he'd get up and he'd hit.
Okay.
just as
Oh,
hard.
all right, final one. I promise you. What if he knocks out Canelo?
But you know when you see a scenario and you're like, I cannot even comprehend that scenario. I actually cannot comprehend Canelo on the ground being counted
That's
out.
why, for me, if he were to knock out, he's pound for pound number 1. Because I can't even visualize it.
it's
It
one
doesn't
of
make
those-
sense. Like, if the referee counts, I'm like, what the fuck? Even if he knocks him down, I'll be like,
It is. It's literally that. It's like you've seen Fury down, you've seen Joshua down, people like that. You've seen Spence down, you've seen Crawford stunned a few times. Canelo you're like, what? Down?
Yeah, to a smaller guy. We'll see. September 30th should be an absolutely fantastic. Are you doing a live watch along for it?
I'll have to. It's my birthday.
Yeah, I am not,
Great
because I'm
birthday
doing
present.
the Jay Opataya Jordan Thompson fight. No, very excited about what? No, very excited about doing that fight. I just would have been nice to go to Vegas. G-Man is in the building. Don't forget, the link to his channel is in the description. Make sure you go to the description, subscribe to his channel. We are trying to get it to 15,000. Hopefully by the time you guys have watched this, we have got it to 15,000, which would mean a lot for me and for him. Until next time, see you later.